Let's finish it.
Yeah. Ay, coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on 10 again, yeah. State your name.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of The Closing Pitch. My name is Spiker Helms, and this is a show about people, culture, and how to create a winning lifestyle. Straight ahead of me is David Burkby, who is my co-host. He is a man of many traits, many skills, and he is in the hotel room with me. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, we're still in the Holiday Inn.
Yes, we're in the Holiday Inn. If you guys don't know how we record these, we are both. We have similar schedules, but at the same time, we are also super busy with the club, and I get pulled in a different direction. He gets pulled in a different direction. I'm on the creative side, on the marketing side, and Dave is on the sales side and also customer service. He also is our general manager, so he handles a lot of emails when it comes to the recruiting aspect, helping our players find spots. So he is a very busy man. That's why I call him a jack of all trades. But anyways, what we have on this episode is I want Dave to kick this thing off because he had a really good point on this. And one thing about this podcast and why we started it, and I want him to say what he's about to say, but for me, it's literally delivering and helping people out and seeing how club baseball has gone. I think there is a place for us to voice an opinion because sports has kind of been separated from business and business has been separated from sports. And I view these two things as similar entities. And the whole goal for us is to make sure that we're providing a service, we're providing help to those that need help on developing their skill sets, getting life skills that they're going to be able to use when they get outside of this game. And thirdly, which I think is probably it's not the most important thing, but it is important, is helping them, if they do want to play at another level and at a higher level, helping them advance through those ranks, whether that's a 10U player trying to make his 11U team or a 15-year-old trying to make his high school team or a high school player trying to make it into college or professional baseball. So with that said, let's go over to Dave, and I want him to talk more on this.
Well, I wanted to talk on this topic because I know we have an intro to this whole thing, right? And we talk about, we want to help create a winning lifestyle for people and pass along information. And that's been, to me, the number one driver of this podcast. We briefly touched on it in episode 1, and now we've gone on and done 28
30,
episodes.
I think.
Oh, lucky number 30, so I'm choosing the right episode.
This is 29. This
29.
is 29.
Well,
yeah.
Whatever it is. And we've talked on a ton of cool topics, but you know what I like about this, and the main reason, so if you're listening, the absolute main reason for myself as to why we are doing, or why I am doing this podcast, is because I think it is the most important thing to pass along information to people to help them be successful. There is no one singular person that gets to where they are in life without the help of others. And I love this forum being audio or a podcast because you can listen to it whenever you want. You can stop it. You can find little tidbits. You might listen to me and Spiker talk for 40 minutes, and maybe only 2 minutes of that's applicable to you, but maybe that 2 minutes is that little piece of information that's needed to make you get over that next hurdle and that next jump.
Well, it could trigger an idea where you're like, oh my gosh, this is just unbelievable. Because we've both had those moments when we're listening to podcasts. We're like, no way. Where'd you get that? I have no idea. I listened to this podcast. He didn't say anything about this, but now, or she didn't say anything about this, but now I have this idea, and I'm going to go off and go do it.
And that's our goal, okay? When we get those messages from you guys saying, man, you've helped in this area or this aspect of our game or our life.
That makes me feel so good.
It is the best thing. And I mean this wholeheartedly. Why I am in the business that I am in and why I coach and why I teach and why me and Spiker, like on the last episode, we talked a little bit about how we're trying to build the brand of Rawlings Tigers across the country. The main 100% objective for myself is to pass along the best and most information possible to help our players, our coaches, our parents, our directors, or even people who are outside of our program just listening to this succeed. It is my number one driver. And that's why I like listening to other podcasts and other platforms of people who have been in higher roles than myself, who have gotten to different places that I want to get to. And I want to try to take tidbits from them, just like I hope our listeners are doing that from us.
Well, and I don't want to hoard the information. I don't want to be that person that takes in information, or I have an idea that ends up being successful and I hoard it to myself. Because that doesn't help anybody. It helps me, but then it just ends up burning me out, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been in that situation where I've known something on social media that I know that's gonna pop, I know that's gonna work. I keep it to myself, and I end up not feeling great about it. But then when I start talking about the tactics or the strategies or the creativity side of it, that's when things really start formulating a little bit better for me. And I actually feed off of it, because then I get ideas from somebody else. They're like, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I end up having really good relationships with those people. The ones that I kind of struggle with was how I used to be was, oh, tell me more. Tell me more. Just keep on consuming. Just tell me more. Mm-hmm. How do you know this? How do you know that? Like I'm in the business of sharing. I think that's the best thing I could possibly say in this episode.
It is.
I am in the business of sharing.
with sharing, all I think that this podcast and the business that we're in is going to do is we are building strength in numbers. I want more like-minded individuals that are like me, you, Spiker, like so many of the great people that we have in our business to be around us, because it's only going to make us better. Mm-hmm. And there's always, I've heard this phrase a million times, and I hope you guys take this to heart, that you might listen to me say 100 things, and you might hate 99 of them and disagree with it. But you'd never know if that one thing I say is going to change your life forever. And I've tried to live by that. I've tried to always keep my eyes and ears open. And even in this like climate, let's talk outside of baseball and business, even in the climate that we're in, where it's almost like you're either left or right, or you're up or you're down, whatever it is, we can always learn from each other. And someone might have a different circumstance or situation that they're a part of that I've never been in, and I can learn from them in that situation, make myself better. And same thing in sports, same thing in business. And we are going to try to literally give you our game plans and what our path has been like, our ups, our downs. I'm going to try to tell you guys all about the failures I've had, because I've had plenty, and how I've gotten over those and how I've built them into successes, and how I'm trying to learn to build other things in successes. And if that's something that can gravitate towards you and help you, then this podcast is going to be a massive success.
Well, that was the point of the Tactical Guide episode. I think that was episode 18. The whole point was to literally share information that we're giving to our players on how to actually execute this. And hopefully you're listening and you can execute the same way. And you're not even in the organization. That's the best part. We are literally giving you the blueprint of how to get recruited. Obviously, you're not in the same events that we are in, but we're giving you the blueprint of how to actually get recruited. And I would love for someone to be like, yeah, I listened to Dave and Spiker and they told me to do this, and I just got a scholarship to a Division II. Hell yeah.
Awesome. And even if they're not in the Tiger program, hell yeah.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
And luckily our players have they've gone all in on that, and they've went above and beyond what we actually thought that they could do. They're going way beyond. They're actually like, I literally sent a video of one of our players that I took, and then literally 2 minutes later he sent it out.
Well, I think they're starting to see that there's so much more that they're capable of. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's a freaking awesome thing, in my opinion, that whenever you can get somebody to all of a sudden take that next jump in whatever it is, life, okay, baseball. And now all of a sudden they know they can do this and this leads them to there.
That's the winning lifestyle.
That's amazing.
That's the winning lifestyle right there. You literally just said the winning lifestyle.
And that's amazing. And that is 100% a goal of what I have here with this podcast.
That's why I think when we say people, culture, and how to create a winning lifestyle, because people and culture, you have those. You can have people that are like-minded. You can have people that are different from you, and the winning lifestyle is basically you looking at the landscape and understanding like there are different opinions out there. There are things out there that I need to be aware of to make the right decision for my lifestyle. And that's what's super interesting, because a person in Missouri who has a small little group in West County is going to have a different type of lifestyle, different type of thought process than a group in San Francisco or a group in LA. You should not be worried about, oh, I don't want those Californians to come over here and infect my brain. Hell yeah, come on over. Let's talk about this. What do you know? I'll tell you what I know. We'll figure out what's best.
Well, listen, and I like to think of myself as a people person, that I think I can have a conversation with just about anybody and find some mutual ground and find some commonalities between the two of us, even if we have a ton of differences. But I think the biggest thing that's helped me out, and again, it's something I want to bring to this show, is when you talk, when you listen, and when you put yourself in maybe a different, situation that you're not necessarily comfortable with, or even picking up and putting in a headphone and listening to a podcast that you've never heard before. You don't know what that conversation, that situation is going to take you to. And that's the beauty of this platform. And that's the beauty of what we're trying to do. And even with bringing guests on down the road and doing other things that we have planned.
Well, even our guests that we've brought on,
yeah.
And we talk about this. Who should we bring on? What person do we want? And in a lot of cases, it's not the person that has the big pull, because that's like the obvious play. Let's get the person that has the big pull. I'm more of the case of, I want someone that's going to bring value to our listeners. That's going to be a dynamite conversation to where it's like, holy cow, I never knew that. Like Jason Bell, that was a no-brainer, because I knew how much information he knew about baseball and about where the landscape's going that no one has ever heard of. And we had to get him on. The same thing with John Muscat and Jeff McGarry, because they're on the cutting edge of baseball. They're on the cutting edge of technology. We got to get those people on here, because we have a lot of baseball listeners, and also they have a business mindset. They also have a career mindset that how did you make a career out of sports? How did that happen? Because there's a lot of people that would love to do that.
So whenever you're listening, and this is one thing we ask going forward, when you are listening and you hear that little golden nugget that you're like, yes, this is freaking amazing. This is awesome. This is why I listen. The best thing you can do is share that with someone else. Is take that information, not necessarily even, if you want to promote us, that's great. If you want to say, hey, you need to listen to the closing pitch. These guys, Spiker and Dave, are awesome. They do it the right way. That's fantastic. But even if you just want to take that information and share that along because you now think that can help someone else, that's just as equally as cool to me. So do that. That's another driving force for me as to why we do this.
I think Andy Frisella always says that's the cost of listening to the podcast.
Yep.
I don't want to copy him. I just think that's just a great saying. Like, we're doing this for free, and we're not getting paid to do this podcast. We don't even have a sponsor. We've
sponsored Holiday Inn the last 2 days.
We've mentioned Holiday Inn like 3 or 4 times in the last couple episodes.
Come on.
We talked about their nice decor, their woodwork.
Yeah,
like, it's a great
hook me up with a free
you
night.
Actually said their slogan. But we're not sponsored. And so we're doing this because of, we want to help people. We want to share information. And if you can share it, for me, that would be the cost of this podcast.
Yeah, and
I'm going to take the same thing that Andy says. That's the due.
Well,
You're
and
due.
I'll take it a step further. So we're 30-ish episodes in. For the next 30
29.
episodes, I don't know, 29. I'm a roundup guy, okay? Just like Aaron. Whenever,
like Aaron.
Yeah, just like Aaron.
Give a little insight into the Tigers. Every year, high school season, Aaron looks at the records, and if it's a tie, he gives us a win.
Yeah. So it's always rounding up. It's
Yeah.
always, taking that little step forward. But here's something that I'd like for the next 30 episodes. If you're listening and you like something, or even better, you have a question, please don't think that me and Spiker are not approachable. Please go through any format or any medium you can. Heck, I'll even give my phone number. Text me. It's 314-607-0709. You can text me and call me and say, hey, David, I'm Steve from North Carolina. I don't even know you, but I really like the closing pitch, and I had a question for you. And guess what? I'm going to be like, dude, let's have a conversation, and let's go forward, and then we'll bring that up and address it and talk about it, because it's, again, about helping people and creating that lifestyle. So I'm dead serious on that. Text, email, hit us up on Anchor. Anyway, on social media, DM us. We have Twitter handles. We have Instagram profiles. Whatever you want.
Just to let everyone know, Dave runs the @RecruitTigers Twitter account. So if you want to go follow that and check it out, if you want to actually DM him and you don't feel comfortable texting him and being like, hey, I'm Steve
I get it.
from North Dakota or whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, I think I'm all in on that. I think again, that would be awesome to actually have. If you ever want to send me a message and just add us into a group thread, that'd even be better. My number is 314-800-4914. So we've just exposed ourselves. We're out
Hey,
there.
listen, man, but it
has to be that.
I'm so
I think it has
comfortable
to
with
be
that,
that
though.
way. If we're really going to make a push and really make this thing what we know it can be, and listenership, like, you guys are a group. You're awesome. And when I say you guys, I mean girls too. It's just that's St. Louis verbiage. But again, hit us up. We're here.
Because the number one goal is to help to provide information. And the only way we know that we're doing that, apart from just hopefully seeing numbers, is literally having that contact with you and being able to work those situations out, or answering those questions, or just pass along certain life situations that we've now gone through and gotten better with. So I just wanted to kind of remind people out there, that's the goal of this and why we're doing it.
Guys, do we do a closing pitch on this?
I don't know about that.
I mean, this whole episode,
I don't think this is an episode on the closing pitch.
or it is the close, like the whole 13 minutes was the closing
Bingo.
pitch. There it is.
Love it. No, seriously, guys, I don't want you to seem like this is ingenuine. I meant everything I said. I'm going to probably reiterate this going down in further episodes, but let's get more in depth over the next 30. I'm looking so much forward to it.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching or listening, or both, to The Closing Pitch. If you would like to get your closing pitch featured on the show, we use a podcasting app called Anchor, where you can submit your statement or question via audio. Or what you can do is comment in the comment section of this post. We also accept direct messages. Please give us the A-OK if you do send us a DM to use your statement or question on the show. Last thing, please give us a review on your platform of choice. 5-star preferably, and we value your opinion, and this allows us to reach more people. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode.